And now we are going to start our session on how to read the newspapers. So this is our fifth webinar in our webinar series. We have planned almost 20 to 25 webinars, and this is the fifth one. And today we are going to see how to read the newspapers. So at this juncture, you will be thinking, why one should read newspaper? What is the purpose of reading the newspaper? So generally for civil services preparation, newspaper is one of the important study material. For any other exam, you will be having a lot of books, you will be having a lot of notes, but for civil services examination, apart from the books and notes, this newspaper is an important study material. Now you could differentiate here. We have titled this as how to read newspapers. Generally, now every normal people here and there, your friends, your family members, your father, mother, everyone will be reading newspaper of some sort, but they will be just reading the newspaper. But we are going one step ahead. We should not only read the newspaper, but we have to study the newspaper. Studying newspaper is an art. So there is a difference between reading a newspaper and studying a newspaper. In today's session, let us see how to read and how to study the newspaper and go to that next step. Okay. So the agenda for the day is, we'll understand why one should read the newspaper. What is the purpose of newspaper in civil services preparation? Why we need to go behind these newspapers? How to identify articles, because you cannot just read all the articles. We have to identify the articles and study. Let us see how to identify articles. And there is an important section called editorials in newspaper, and let us see the importance of editorials and why we need to study the editorials. How to study news? See, I already said that one will read the newspaper, but studying is a different thing. Let us see how to study a news rather than just reading it. So I'll take an article of a newspaper and we will read together. We are going to read together in this webinar, and we are going to understand how to read a news. Okay. And finally, how to make notes. It's not only about reading newspaper, studying it and leaving. We should also take notes regarding the newspaper articles every day. So taking notes is very important, and we are going to see how we are going to take notes today. So this is the agenda for the day. So now I would like to throw a question on you, and you can answer this. Why one should read newspaper? What is the purpose of newspaper? You can answer me. I can see your answers. So I'm asking you, let us make it interactive rather than a monologue. Let us make it a dialogue. So you have to answer me now. You can give your answer. Don't worry about what others will think. You just give your answer. Just tell me why one should read the newspaper. Yes. Yes. Priyanka, Suren, Gokulnath, Archudar, everyone are asking. Yes, to be aware of knowledge. Yes, to get to know about current affairs, to know about society, collective information. True. Yes, I'm getting very good response. Yeah, exactly. To know the current affairs, to know about society, exactly. To know the present situation. Yeah. Aarti is telling to know the present situation of our society. That is more precise rather than just knowing the society, as said by Abhinash. It is about knowing the society in the present conditions. So Aarti has given a precise answer. To get correct information, yes, we are living in an era of misinformation, and Abhishek has given the right answer. True. We have to know the reality, like Prashant is telling. Yes, true. So we are reading newspaper for a purpose. UPSC, see, if you could see, to clear this examination, now I'll start the lecture. If you could see, to clear this examination, we are having three important steps. The three important steps are preliminary, main, and interview, personality tests. In all the three steps, UPSC will ask us questions. In preliminary, there will be objective type question. In mains, there is descriptive type question. In personality test, they will be asking question directly to us on our face. So in all the three levels, we will be facing a lot of questions, and we have to give answers. So that questions will be revolving around the current events occurring around you and current affairs occurring around you. So if you could see, why UPSC is asking question from current affairs and why UPSC is making us to read newspaper, you have to understand now. Tomorrow, if you are going to become an IAS officer or an IPS or an IFS or an IRS, whatever any of this 24 services which is listed there, if you are becoming a civil servant tomorrow, what you are going to do? You are going to work for the government. You are going to work for the government, for the people on the field. You are going to work with the people. You are going to interact with the people, and you will be facing a lot of current crisis before you, current problems before you. You will be have to work with the society. You have to work in rejuvenating a society. You have to work with uplifting a society. When you are working with the society, when you are working with the politics, you will be facing current politics, you will be facing the current economy, you will be facing the current society, you will be facing the current environmental issues. So all issues of all the dimensions, as a civil servant, you will be facing in a day-to-day basis. When you are facing all this issue in a day-to-day basis, if in order to solve it, you should know what those issues are. So only if you are knowing the day-to-day issues and problems in society happening in daily basis, then only you can solve those issues. As a civil servant, you are expected to solve the problems. To solve problem, first we have to know the problem. To know the problem, reading newspaper and understanding the society around us is very important. So that is the main purpose. So that is the main purpose. UPSC is asking questions from current affairs, from current events, in order to make you understand the society and present events happening around you, even before you become a civil servant. They are giving you a training. The moment you start a civil service preparation, you are entering into a training. So they are training you even during the preparation course itself. So that is the first important thing, to know about the politics, economy, environment, history, and geography and social issues around you, to know about international issues around you. That is the main purpose of reading the newspaper. To keep updated about the current events happening around you. That is the first purpose of reading a newspaper. That is true. To enhance the knowledge, this is the second thing. Yes, you should be knowledgeable person. You should have a good knowledge base. Like for example, when you are facing I already said that you will be facing three levels: prelim, main, and in personality test. In all the three levels, you will be asked a lot of questions. To answer a question, you should know, you should have an opinion, right? The questions will not be like normal GK question, how many planets we are having. The questions will be opinion based question. They will ask your own opinion. Like they'll ask, there is a lot of protest regarding CAA is happening, what do you think about CAA? This will be their question. Recently, Supreme Court gave a judgment regarding Sabarimala temple entry. What do you think about this temple entry? Can women be allowed into temple? So these kind of questions you will be facing in main examination and personality tests. And after getting the service, you will be working in the society and you will be facing those issue in reality. So you should have your own opinion on all the issues occurring around you. So newspaper is one step to enhance your knowledge and build your opinion. So building opinion is very important. Like I'll give you a few example of UPSC mains question which UPSC asked in the previous years. You see this question and you will be understanding the importance of current affairs here. See this first question. This was a question which was asked in this year's mains, 2019 mains. Do you agree with the view that steady GDP growth and low inflation have left Indian economy in good shape? Give reasons in support of your arguments. So if you could see this, it is an economic question. I hope you don't understand anything because you are just starting your preparation now. You will not be understanding what is inflation, what is GDP, and I know that. But still, what I'm trying to explain here is, you see here what they are asking. Do you agree? They are asking your opinion whether GDP growth and inflation has left economy in a good shape. If you could see recently over past 20 years, we are facing the similar situation, and based on that, they have asked this question. But if you could note here, they are asking you, do you agree? Do you agree means what? Give your opinion. What do you think about this? So, if you want to answer anything, if you want to give your own opinion, you should have an opinion first. So, this newspaper is one area through which you can make your opinion. You can build your opinion. You can build your attitude. So newspaper does that job. See this next question. How can biotechnology help to improve the living standards of farmers? So this is a question which they asked again in this year's prelim main examination in paper 3. Both the questions were taken from paper 3. How can biotechnology help to improve the living standards of farmers? So this might seem simple to you, but in Hindu paper, if you are reading, every other time there will be some article regarding new researches which is taking place. Because of this research, agriculture is benefiting. Because of this research by scientists, farmers are benefiting. Like that, you will be seeing a lot of articles. If you are reading a lot of articles, you can easily help here how biotechnology is going to improve the living standards of farmers. So questions are again current. Everything is current oriented. For such kind of question, you have to give an answer which is both scientific and currently oriented. So that scientific oriented you will be learning in science and technology class, but that current orientation you will be learning only with the newspapers. and see this final question, and I will understand why you have to read when you're seeing the final question. Examine the scope of fundamental rights in the light of latest judgment of Supreme Court on right to privacy. If you could see here, they are asking you a question regarding Supreme Court's judgment regarding right to privacy. This question was a 2017 question. In 2017, Supreme Court gave a famous judgment regarding right to privacy in Puttasamy case. So they are asking you to examine a Supreme Court judgment here. Again, we all know that we are not legal luminaries. We are not lawyers. We are not having that much legal knowledge to analyze a Supreme Court's judgment. We are just the commoners. But reading editorials of newspaper, editorials which is written by lawyers, will give you the outlook of, will give you and will mold your opinion. See, you can't analyze a judgment of a Supreme Court with whatever knowledge you are having now, with whatever knowledge you are going to get with civil services preparation, because we are not experts. But in Hindu newspaper or any other newspaper, there is a section called editorials and opinion column, where legal luminaries, lawyers, and intellectuals in the society will be analyzing the judgment and writing an article. If you would have read any article of any famous lawyer of Supreme Court or High Court, if you would have read their article regarding the analysis of that judgment, you can easily answer this question. So this newspaper will build your opinion. That newspaper will build your opinion regarding the case. So that is the purpose of newspaper. In main examination, questions are opinion oriented and current oriented. In order to build your opinion and knowledge regarding current affairs, you need newspapers. So before going into the next section, I would like to add a point here. Reading newspaper not only keeps you updated and not only gives you knowledge, it also builds your attitude. See, building the attitude is very important. A lot of people who have cleared this examination and a lot of bureaucrats who used to come to KingMakers IAS Academy, like in KingMakers IAS Academy, a lot of civil servants and bureaucrats used to come very often, and they will be giving a motivational and lectures, talks, and like this. So they all used to tell one thing in common. What is that? This civil services examination is not an examination of knowledge, but it is an examination where UPSC is testing your attitude. UPSC wants to know whether this person who is appearing for civil services examination to become IAS or IPS is having right attitude or not. In all the three levels, in prelim, main, and interview, in personality tests, in all the three levels, UPSC is just testing your attitude. So you have to build your attitude right. You should have a good attitude to attend this examination. With 365 days, if you are reading this newspaper on a daily basis for the next 1 year without by proper methods, your attitude will be molded. You will become a matured person. You will become intellectual compared to what you were before. Now, from today onwards, if you are starting to read this newspaper, after 1 year, on the same date, on the same April month of 2021, if you can compare your attitude, how you were before 2020 and how you are now in 2021. So this newspaper reading would have molded your attitude. So molding an attitude and becoming an intellectual is very important, and reading this editorial will make you a good reformed intellectual who is needed for the society and the civil services. So that is the purpose of newspaper. It will build your attitude. Now the next question arises. Okay, I knew the importance of newspapers now. Now which newspaper to study? Our market is flooded with a lot of newspapers. We are having Hindu, Express, Times of India, Deccan Chronicle. We are having Live Mint. In Tamil, we are having a lot of newspapers. So there are these many newspapers. Whether we have to study all the newspaper or whether we have to study only one newspaper, this might be a question which will be asked, which will be going in your mind. So which newspaper to study? Can anyone answer? Which newspaper you have in your mind to study? Yeah, the Hindu. Okay. Akhilananda Bharati is telling the Hindu. Okay, everyone are telling Hindu. Yes, yes. Someone is telling Times of India. Okay. Someone is telling any newspaper. Dinamani. Okay, fine. Anyone national newspaper by Satya. Okay. So I'll explain that. There are many newspapers in the market, but over the period of time, for the past 20-30 years, people whoever are studying for civil services examination, everyone will suggest you the Hindu, because that is the first choice of any civil services aspirant. If you could note, I will tell you just one anecdote here. Hindu is not published in Delhi. Hindu is a South Indian newspaper, but because civil services aspirants who are going to Delhi started to refer Hindu had to be transported to Delhi because civil service aspirants there are asking for Hindu. So that is the demand for Hindu, and that is the place where Hindu is being kept in the society. So Hindu is the most sought out newspaper by civil services aspirant because of their reputation, because of the quality of articles which they give, because of their neutrality and their journalism ethics. They are considered to be superior. Their editorials are top class. So that's why Hindu is preferred by all the civil services aspirants, and that is the first thing. So you can choose any one newspaper. So to start with, for this UPSC preparation, it is not that you have to study all the newspaper. Choose any one newspaper. It can be Hindu. But in recent times, over the past 2 years, UPSC aspirants in Delhi and in and around the areas are started to suggest this Indian Express too. Since Hindu is a South Indian paper and Indian Express is a North Indian paper, this most of the people in northern areas, they have started to prefer this Indian Express too. So recent times, the Indian Express, there are two Indian Expresses. I am talking about the Indian Express and not the new Indian Express. It is just Indian Express. So in recent times, both these paper are getting equal popularity for civil services preparation. If you are getting Hindu, you can study Hindu. Hindu is the best choice. Apart from Hindu, if you want any other subject, any other newspaper apart from Hindu, you can choose the Indian Express. So these two are considered to be the best papers. So live mint is restricted only for the editorials, which I will deal later. So this is for English preparation. I know a lot of people will be preparing this exam in Tamil and regional languages. Many one of you, I saw the registration from all over India. So all over India, if you are from any state, you will be writing the exam in your own regional language. If you are in North India, you will be writing in Hindi. If you are from Tamil Nadu, you will be writing in Tamil. If you are from Andhra, you will be writing in Telugu. Since you are from since you are taking exam in the regional languages, if in that case you have to read a Tamil paper or a regional paper. So for those in Tamil Nadu, I can suggest you the newspaper. In Tamil Nadu, you can choose either the Hindu Tamil Sisai or the Dinamani. So these two newspapers in Tamil are having good editorials. Hindu, as usual, they are maintaining the same standard what they are having in English in Tamil also, and Dinamani is considered to be having very good editorials. So those who are opting to write in Tamil and with the Tamil background, if you want to start with the newspaper, you can choose any of these two newspapers, either Hindu Tamil or Dinamani. And for English, you can choose either the Hindu or the Indian Express. Okay, but choose only one. Choose only one and study that daily. That is enough. It is not that you have to choose many newspapers, and I'll explain why you have to read only one. I'll explain that later. Okay. And for and for the others who are seeing this webinar from all over India, you consult the people in your local area and understand which is having the high quality in the local regional languages and prefer that. Okay. Now we'll go to the next topic. Now we identified the newspaper. We knew why to read the newspaper, and the next step is how to identify the articles. See, every day, newspapers will be having hundreds and 150, 200 articles per day. How is it possible for anyone to read all the articles? Should we study all the articles? I'm asking you the question. Should we study all articles? Is it possible to study? Okay. Yeah. See, many of you are telling yes and many of you are telling no. It takes a long time. True. We don't have to study all. Impossible. Yes, that is true. And impossible. Avinash is telling it is impossible, and that is true. It is impossible. It is not that we have to study all the article. No, we should no need to study all the articles because uh, for civil services preparation, we are having a syllabus. Studying all articles, all 200 articles, is impossible, and that is a humongous task, and that will take all your time throughout the day. So that is very difficult. So what you can do is you have to choose best articles. You can choose the best articles, and you can choose the relevant article for the civil services preparation. Not all articles are relevant. Now you will be having this question: how to identify this? How to know which is suitable for me? And for that thing, you are having a most suitable guide. There cannot be a very good guide than the syllabus than the UPSC syllabus. For UPSC mains examination, UPSC has given a well-defined syllabus. For preliminary, they have not given a well-defined syllabus. They have given just a vague syllabus. But for main examination, they have given a detailed syllabus. I'll show you the syllabus. They have given a detailed syllabus here. See, this is the UPSC syllabus. We are having 4 papers: General Studies 1, General Studies 2, 3, and 4. One is regarding history, geography, and society. Two is regarding polity and international relations and governance. Three is economy, science and tech, environment, and disaster management, internal security. And four is ethics and integrity. So there are four papers with very well listed out syllabus. You can download the syllabus in our website or in any other websites in Google. You can get this syllabus. So as a civil services aspirant, what you have to do is, the first step each and every civil services aspirant do is, you have to memorize the syllabus. Start memorizing the syllabus. That is the first job. Even today itself you can do. After this webinar, go to Google, download the syllabus and start memorizing it. In general UPSC preparation, you don't need to memorize anything except the syllabus, because memorizing the syllabus is very important. So after this webinar, go home, download the syllabus and memorize line by line. Because see, only if you know the syllabus in strong, you can identify article, which article is needed, which article is not needed. There will be an editorial regarding Wimbledon match, and there will be an editorial regarding some random Formula One sports event. So those editorial will not be have any significance for you. But if there is an editorial regarding some political event or economic event or social events, that might be needed. How you can filter? By using the syllabus. Now if there is an editorial regarding any art form or ancient literature, now if you are seeing the editorial, it will be hitting you. Okay, there is a syllabus called Indian art forms and literature and architecture. Okay, then if there is an article in Hindu regarding any architecture, you have to study. That is how it will be helping. If there is an article regarding any temple architecture, there was a recent Kudamurakku function that in Rajaraja Soyan temple, like Periyudayar temple. So that Kudamurakku temple, that is something related to the Tamil Nadu's Dravidian architecture. So if you are reading about that an article in the newspaper, it will be hitting in your mind. Okay, we are having the syllabus called art forms, literature, and architecture of ancient to modern times. So this news regarding the Kudamurakku, we have to study. So this is how you have to filter it. Now you will be reading a newspaper, and they would have discussed about some constitutional scheme of some foreign nation. Like I'll tell you, now US is facing their election, president election, right? If you got see the news, you can follow. There is going to be a presidential election in United States between Donald Trump and his opponent Joe Biden. So that is US election. You will be thinking, why we have to study about US election? But you have to read the process, how the US president is elected, what is the process? Because there is a line in syllabus called comparison of Indian constitutional scheme with other countries. So you have to study how president is elected in US constitution, and you have to study how president is elected according to Indian constitution, and you have to compare both, because comparing the constitution is part of the syllabus. So tomorrow, if you are reading an article regarding US presidential election and the process of presidential election, you have to read, because that is there in syllabus. So this is how the syllabus is going to help you in scrutinizing which article to read. So that is the role of the syllabus. So use the syllabus as guide. Memorize the syllabus. How to now next you will be asking this question, how to memorize the syllabus. That is very easy. The thing you have to do is, there are two things I will tell you, suggestions to memorize the syllabus. One thing is to see the syllabus daily. Every day, whenever your brain is functioning well, that will be in early morning or before bed, you just open the PDF or you just take the printout of syllabus and just go through it once. If you are go through it on a daily basis, after a month it will be memorized. So you no need to sit and memorize like literally manapadam kind of a thing. You no need to do that. You just sit and have a glance every day, morning and evening, twice a day. If you are just having a glance twice a day, it will be memorized. The second thing which you can do is take the printout of the syllabus and stick in the wall, whichever you are seeing daily. When you will be having a study table, if you are having a study table, fix it before the study table, so that whenever you are studying in the table, you can see the syllabus always. It will be a guide in your study table every time. You can either have a printout in your study table or stick in the wall before the study table, so that whenever you are sitting in the study table, you can see the syllabus. So I have done that. I have stuck the syllabus in my wall, so you can do that. So you do this and memorize the syllabus, and that is going to be the guide for the entire preparation. So now the next part is, we'll understand it practically, how to identify the articles of a newspaper. So let us understand. I am taking a newspaper of Hindu. So you don't need to open anything now. I'll just open it in my screen and you can follow that. I'm taking Hindu of 14th February because in recent 1 month after this corona crisis, all the newspaper, all the newses and articles in the newspaper is entirely about corona. So whatever newspaper coming today is not of the regular newspaper pattern. So once this crisis is over, you will be getting a newspaper of regular pattern, because the Hindu of today or the Express of today is entirely covering articles regarding Corona. So if I take today's newspaper and explain it to you, that will not be relevant for your preparation. So I have taken a newspaper which is predated to the Corona crisis, that is on February 14th, and I am going to explain you that. Okay. So I'm going to take this newspaper here. I hope you can see this newspaper. This is a newspaper of 14th February 2020. Now I'll tell you. Now we'll scroll through this entire newspaper and identify how to identify the know how to identify the articles. So generally, this is the front page of the Hindu paper. So this is the front page. So front page is important. Whatever articles given in the front page, any article, it can be of anything, even though it is not there in syllabus. If some article comes in the front page, means the meaning is it is very important one. Only those news which are very important will come in the front page. Even though the front page article is not there in syllabus, you have to study all the front page articles. You have to go through all the headlines and just have a read of all the articles, because if a news is in the front page, it is very important. So the logic here. So front page you study fully. Uh, so that is the thing. Once you finish the front page, I'll take an article and read it later. Now we'll just understand how to choose the article. Once you are finishing the front page, you skip all the pages. That is page 2 regarding the city, and page 3 regarding the city. Page 4 is again regarding the city. Page 5 is regarding the northern part. Like in Tamil Nadu, you will be getting this part as south. I've taken the Delhi edition and I'm explaining here. So you can skip all these parts and directly you can come to the nation column. There is this column called nation. After page 1, you can skip all the sections and directly you can jump to this nation column, which is in page 9. So that page numbers will be varying. I'm not telling the page number, just note the column section. So after reading all the articles in the front page of the newspaper headlines, directly you have to come to this nation column. Skip all the regional news, because in every region all over India, you will be having various regional news. A person in Chennai will be reading the regional news of Chennai. A person in Uttar Pradesh will be learning, in Allahabad will be reading the articles regarding Allahabad. So that is not going to help you in preparation. So directly you can come to this nation column. In nation column, here is where you have to apply your syllabus. You have to use the syllabus as guide and identify the article and study. Like for example, coronavirus. Coronavirus is very important because it is a health crisis. Health you are having in both paper 2 and paper 3. Paper 2 as a political thing and paper 3 as science and tech basis. So coronavirus and virus come under the science and technology, and health in general, it comes in the paper 2. So you have to study any article regarding health, and this article you have to study. So and you have to study the article. Now, next thing you are seeing, former Terry chief R.K. Pachuri dead. So, what is this Terry? This is a new thing. Terry means it is the Energy and Resource Institute. The meaning of Terry is it is Energy and Resource Institute. So it is an environmental organization. It is one of the famous nationwide environmental organization. And if you could see the syllabus in paper 2, you will be having this column called NGOs. See, I'm opening the syllabus and I'm showing this to you. See here, role of NGOs. In paper 2, you are having this topic called role of NGOs. If you don't know the syllabus, you will think that, okay, that is regarding some ex NGO. We should not study. You will come into conclusion like that. But if you see the syllabus, there is a line called role of NGO. So only if you know the syllabus, you can identify the article. So since there is a role of NGO in the syllabus, you have to study about any NGO they are giving. So Terry is a nationwide NGO regarding environment, and environment is there in paper 3 also, and you have to study this article and know what is Terry. So again, we are not concerned about the person who is dead, but we have to study about this organization. Now, what you have to do, once you identified this, you have to Google what is Terry. See, newspaper reading means a person who is reading the newspaper will just read this article. A person reading this newspaper will just read this article. But what we have to do as civil service aspirant, we have to go one step ahead and we have to study the entire article. We have to go through the entire article and do some background work. Like the Energy and Resource Institute is a nationwide NGO, so you have to Google about it and you have to study that. So that is why you have to study. Next article is regarding L&T to deliver first patrol boat to Vietnam. So patrol boat, it is regarding something related to defense, and defense comes in paper 3. and we are gifting it to Vietnam. We are giving it to Vietnam, so it is part of the international relations in paper 2. So we have to study that. So likewise, you have to understand. SC reserves the judgment on Nirbhaya case. So Supreme Court is again part of paper 2, and you have to study penalty is part of paper 2. See this article. Government notifies the medical devices as drugs. So if you could see this article, Union Health Ministry based on Drugs and Cosmetics Act. Rather than going into the news, I'm just showing you. They have discussed about the an act of the parliament here, that is Drugs and Cosmetics Act. You have to study about it because any law passed by the parliament is very important. Drugs is important in both paper 3 and paper 2 in polity. You will be understanding all these steps once you come into the preparation and once you get used to it. If I explain it today, you will not understand each and every article. I'm just telling you how to identify articles. Once you start your preparation, once you know the basics of polity, economy, environment, once you are accustomed to the newspaper, it will take at least 3 months to get accustomed with this newspaper reading. On the day one, if you are sitting with the newspaper, it will take almost 4 hours a day. But that will be very long process. You will be thinking, why am I spending 4 hours a day to read this newspaper? But once, if you are doing that for 3 months, you will be accustomed to the syllabus and you will be accustomed to this preparation, and you will be identifying all the articles which is needed, and you will be rejecting those articles which is not needed, and you will be studying it. So that is the case. So in the start, it will take time. So don't worry about it. Okay. So for this is the editorial section. After this nation column, we are having the section called editorial. So the page 10 and page 11 will be having editorial section. So this is the middle center page of Hindu. In this center page, we will be having 7 articles. So in this page, we are having how many articles? In this page, we are having 1, 2, and 3, 4 articles. And in this page, we will be having 3 articles, 1, 2, and 3. So generally, there will be 2 articles here and 1 article here. So no need to study this from the archives. So there will be an article here, and there will be another article here, and there will be a third article here. So there are totally 7 editorials a day. And again, it is very difficult to study all the editorials. Again, choosing this editorials also, you should be applying the syllabus logic. I'll explain about this editorial later. Then you have to come to this news column. In this news column, see, after reading nation, after reading editorials, and you are coming to the news column. In the news column, generally the news will be of political news. So majority of the news in this column is political news, which you can skip. Like for example, see here, row over AIDU MLA's remarks. So that is some controversy regarding some MLA. So there is some political issue which we don't know, which we don't need. We can reject this article. Okay. So security bustle over Gilani's health worry. So it is some politician's health. So you can leave this article because it is some political issue. So you can skip any articles regarding any political matters between Congress or BJP or something like that. Supreme Court to hear plea of Omar's sister today. So again, this is a political issue of Jammu and Kashmir, which you can skip in general. But I would tell you one thing. By just reading the headlines, you will not know whether this article is a political article, whether this article is a UPSC related article. Just by reading headlines, you will never know. So that will take time. So initial 3 months, you don't do like that. Instead, what you have to do, for every article, you just try to read this first paragraph. This first paragraph of all the article is designed in such a way that if you read the first paragraph, the entire theme of the article you will be knowing. So that is how all the first paragraphs are designed. So if you could read the first paragraph, you will be getting a clear idea. So generally you read the first paragraph and identify whether this article is needed or not. Initially you will not be expert enough to do the scrutiny. You will not be expert enough to eliminate the unwanted articles because you are not accustomed to the preparation. You don't know the basics of the polity, economy, or history, geography, because classes haven't started. And on another side, you will be not memorizing the syllabus. So you will be reading some useless articles also. But after this 3 months, 4 months, once you are accustomed to this Hindu paper reading, and I'm sure that the time taken for the newspaper reading will come down, and you will be your elimination of unwanted articles that the capacity also will improve, and I'm sure about that. See, BJP is accusing Congress. Congress is accusing BJP. This is a political news which you can skip directly. So likewise, you can scrutiny a news like that. So that is how you have to analyze this section. So from these 2 sections, ignore all the political articles and read those which is relevant to syllabus. For example, wall rises ahead of the Trump trip. You remember Trump visited India. So this is something related to international relation because a foreign president, US president is visiting India. So you have to study this. It is having both social dimension and political dimension also. So paper 2 you are having IR and paper 1 you are having society, because poor people's housings were not shown to the president and it was controversy. You have to study this. There is a social dimension to it. So like you have to apply the syllabus and you have to study. And next comes the world column. In the world column, see, I'll advise you one thing. With respect to both world column and business column, you will not be understanding the articles on day one. You will not understand any article on day one because you need to have some basic knowledge regarding international relations. So what I will suggest you is just read the headlines in the world column and business column. No need to read any article in these two columns. With respect to world column and business column, just read the headlines. Okay, sometimes when you're reading the headlines itself, you will be understanding, okay, there is some link with the syllabus. So if that is the case, you study the article. Otherwise you just read the headlines and skip the world column and business column. But one catch here: any article regarding economy or any article regarding the international relations, if you are seeing in editorial column, you just study that. Okay, so study the articles of international relations and economy in the editorial column instead of reading here, because in editorial they would have simplified that entire article and they would have analyzed it. That is more than enough to study for a UPSC preparation, rather than reading all the articles in the world column and business column. Okay, sometimes a few articles in the business column will be relevant to you, but you will not be understanding that till your economic classes are over. In the initial time you will not be having any basic knowledge regarding the economy. So till the economic classes are over, you will not be having any idea regarding how to scrutiny the articles in the business column. So till the economic classes are over, you can skip this business column. Until the IR international relations classes are over, you can skip the world column, but just go through the headlines. Instead of this, what you can do is you can read the editorials. In editorial, I'll come back to editorials now. In editorials, you will be having various articles regarding international relations and world news and economy. So you can read that. Okay, you can read that. I hope you are clear here. So this showcase column is specific only to Friday, so you can ignore this. You can leave this, and you can ignore the sports columns too. Sports column, as usual, you can ignore. Again, I'm telling, if a sports news of some importance, like for example, if India wins a World Cup, that will be the headlines. You will be studying in headlines. If any sports news is very important, that would have come either in headlines or that would have come either in editorial section. So that important news you can study there. If there is a scam regarding cricket, like we had a IPL scam, which is relevant to UPSC preparation, which we have to study. So even though that is a sports issue, we should have studied. If there is a scam regarding any player during some match fixing or something, that is a scam which we have to study. But if those kind of news will be in the headlines column and you would have studied this, so no need to give a lot of focus regarding in the sports column until or unless you are interested in sports. If you are naturally having interest in sports column or following cricket, you can study. That is your personal choice. For UPSC preparation, generally, no need to have a read of this column. Okay, if a news of national importance comes, it will be in the headline section, so you don't need to bother. Okay, about the sports column. So now we have gone through a newspaper fully. So now you will be having some basic knowledge of how to identify a news article. So how to identify a news article and how to scrutiny a news article and how to study. Okay, so read the headlines in the first page of all the articles. Skip the local, city, state news and go to nation column directly and study the nation column. Then editorials are discussed in the later part of this video. We'll see the editorial next. Then finish the news column. Then skim through the headlines in international columns and business column. Skip the sports column. So this is the basic guidelines which I'm telling you for the newspaper. Now we'll go to the editorials part. Now let us see the importance of the editorials. What is this editorial and why we have to study the editorial? This is the issue now. So I'll explain you what the editorial is. Editorial is the Talayangam in Tamil solluvaanga. Editorial is Talayangam, which is the center part of the newspaper and the center column of the newspaper. In this editorial part, there will be 5 to 7 articles. that articles is not the articles written by the newspaper. So that articles is the article written by the third persons. Okay, there will be a lot of intellectuals in the society, there will be a lot of lawyers, judges, and there will be a lot of ex bureaucrats, there will be a lot of ministers, so there will be a lot of writers. All these intellectuals who are in the society, what they will do, they will write an article in newspaper regarding any social issue, any political issue, any economic issue, or any cultural issue, or any environmental issue, so or any issues regarding the international relations to diplomatic issue also. So by taking identifying all these issues, these experts of their own field will write an article. Like we already saw how I'm going to analyze a Supreme Court judgment. I'm sure, see, in Hindu there are two important lawyers who used to write. There is a lawyer called Surit Patsarthi of Madras High Court, who is a regular writer in Hindu, and there is a lawyer called Gautam Bhatia of Delhi High Court. So these two lawyers of high courts used to write editorials in Hindu whenever there is a judgment. Whenever there is a Supreme Court judgment, these two lawyers will write an editorial in the Hindu. And if you are reading their editorial, you will be getting the top to bottom analysis of the entire judgment. We cannot go and download the entire judgment and study, because the judgment will be for 1000 pages or 5000 pages. This Ayodhya judgment was for 10,000 pages. So we can't be able to go and study the thousands of pages of judgment. These lawyers will be studying that and they will be giving their opinion. Like already said, we have to build our opinion for mains answer. Like when you are reading these editorials, your opinion will be built. So that lawyer will be giving his opinion, which you can take and make your own. So that opinion will become your own opinion, and that opinion you can write in your mains answer. In mains answer, if they are asking you to scrutiny the budget, we are not having economic knowledge to tell whether this budget is a good budget or whether this budget is a bad budget. We are not having the political knowledge to scrutiny a Supreme Court judgment. Those lawyers will be giving their opinion. You can take this opinion and you can write the those opinions in your main answer, and you can tell that opinions in the personality test, because these editorials are going to mold your opinions. This editorial, regular reading of editorial will mold your character and will boost your attitude. I'm sure about that, because personally I have experienced that. So opinion building is main, that is the first part. Next is the expert's point of view. You are going to get an expert's point of view regarding the editorial. See, this expert's point of view I would like to hold here, and I would like to show you. We had this neutrino issue. I hope you remember all. We were having this neutrino project, whether this neutrino project or can come to Tamil Nadu or not, in Theni. So when this issue was burning in 2015, a scientist, a well-known scientist in India named Abdul Kalam. I hope you know Abdul Kalam. I'm just kidding. Abdul Kalam wrote an editorial in Hindu. So this was surprising for us when we were preparing. All of a sudden, former president himself is writing an article regarding an issue. So you will, by studying this article, we got the opinion of Dr. Kalam. So that is the importance of editorials. Dr. Kalam here is debusting all the myths. See, actually, Kalam would have supported this neutrino project here. People are having a lot of misconception regarding neutrino. People there were many fake news behind this neutrino. He debusted all the wrong news and wrong facts regarding this neutrino project, and he explained the importance of this neutrino project. Why this neutrino project should come to Tamil Nadu? He gave his opinion. He gave this point. If you would have read this editorial, you would have got an opinion regarding the neutrino project, and your opinion would have built. He explained what is neutrino. See, neutrinos occur in the different flavors and different types. He explained the scientific part of neutrino. At the same time, he explained the existing political and socio-economic issue regarding the neutrino. So if you would have read this article, it would have given you the wholesome view. You note down this name. You just go to Google and Google this, going all out for neutrino research. Okay, you just go and go through this, you will understand this. See, people like Abdul Kalam is writing about a science project, so that is the importance of editorial. If you read the editorial, you will be getting experts point of view. Recently our chief minister Thiru Edappadi Palanisamy, he wrote an editorial in Hindu how Tamil Nadu chief minister is taking steps to control corona. So we were shocked when how it will be when chief minister himself is writing an article and explaining you what steps they have taken to control corona. So you will not get any other better option rather than chief minister himself writing. So that is the value of editorial. They will give you the expert opinion. So that is the second important reason why you have to read the editorials. Third reason why you have to read editorials is they will provide you some intricate points. Intricate points mean, like I'll tell you this editorial which I read. So this is an editorial which came on April 20th, 3 days back. a shot of hope with the game-changing vaccine. So this is the title of that editorial. See, what I'm trying to tell is, in editorial, see, when during the civil services preparation, you will be reading the fundamentals of polity, economy, history, geography, all the subjects. You will be just reading the book knowledge, whatever is there in the book. You will not be reading it in detail. But sometimes, while reading editorial, you will be noting some intricate points, some details, some international examples where you will not find it in any books. When you are reading editorial, you will be knowing certain facts, you will be knowing certain important points nowhere you can get in any books. So those kind of points, if you are noting it down, that will help you in writing better mains answers. Because mains examination is all about writing best answers and writing best points, writing points which no one other has written. When an examiner is correcting your answer sheet, they will be seeing the same answers written by everyone. When your answer sheet comes and you are written an different point which none of the other candidates have written, you will be getting extra mark in mains. So that is the logic behind this reading editorial. When you are reading this editorial, you will be knowing that intricate points which no one would have read anywhere. So that points, if you are noting down and recollecting in your main examination, that will help you a lot in scoring more marks. Like for this, in this editorial which came 3 days back, it was about how to control corona. So that is a simple thing. I'm not explaining the editorial, I'm just telling you one thing. In this editorial, this personality is comparing the how they controlled AIDS, HIV AIDS. When AIDS outbreak came in 1980s in Africa, in 1980s in America, how these nations controlled AIDS. AIDS was an epidemic, right? In 80s, AIDS was a very big epidemic. So how these nations, for example, how these nations like Thailand, Uganda, took the steps to control AIDS. And he is comparing that these steps can be used now to compare the COVID. So that is what analogy will be doing in this articles. So if you could read this article, you are getting an insights on how these nations controlled AIDS, which is a rare thing. You will not be getting this in any books. He has taken a case study of Thailand, Uganda, nations like Thailand, nations like Uganda, and what steps they have taken. Here he would have discussed about the Uganda here. See, Uganda model he would have discussed here. Here he would have discussed about the Thailand. So what Uganda and Thailand did to control AIDS when it was spreading. So this thing you will not get anywhere in any books. Only in editorial you will be getting. And this case study you can write it in your mains answer. You can tell in personality test if any question comes. So this is building your knowledge. It is giving you some intricate points regarding the issues happening. So when you are exposed to such articles and such works on a daily basis, your character is molded to a very different level. So that is the important things about this intricate points. So the next thing, like I already stressed a lot of times, it builds your attitude and perspective. Building a right attitude is very important to solve the civil services examination. So that will help you in clearing. It aids in comprehension skill. Finally, there is another advantage for this editorial. In preliminary, we are having a paper called CSAT. In CSAT paper, for many of them who are not having engineering background, they find it a bit difficult to face this CSAT section. In CSAT, in recent times, the comprehensions which they are asking are of certain high quality. So in order to attend that comprehension and verbal reasoning part, you should have good comprehending skills. When a passage is given to you, you have to understand the passage. You have to understand the passage and answer the question. Those comprehensions will not be of the school types comprehension. In CSAT, they are asking some high quality comprehensions. So even though if you are writing in Tamil, even though if you are writing in any regional languages, in main examination, preliminary, surely you have to face only in English. So you should have this English knowledge. That is for sure. So for those people, if you want to improve your comprehension skills by reading editorials daily, by reading writings of the various personalities daily, your comprehending skills and your English knowledge will develop. Someone asked me during the start of the lecture of how to improve my English skills. Reading editorial on daily basis will improve your English skills for sure. How it is going to help you, I'll tell. On one side, when you're reading the write-up of best writers, you will be knowing how to frame sentences. Even though you are not consciously noting that down, it will be registered in your subconscious mind. Indirectly, your subconscious mind will be noting down all those things, how to write best answer. Because in main examination, you are going to write answers. In essays, you are going to write essay for 3,000 words, two essays of 1,200 words each. You are going to write 3,000 words essays. You are going to write 250 words answers of 20 answers for each paper. So this much of write up you are going to do in mains examination. So your writing skill is very important. Reading editorial on daily basis will improve your writing skills. You will be finding a lot of new vocabulary, new words. Many writers in of editorials will use many new words, and those words will help you to improve your vocabulary. So whenever you are finding new words in editorial, you note down that word, go take a dictionary and know the meaning of that words. You don't need to have a special training of vocabulary like daily reading 10 words or 5 words like that. You don't need to do anything like that. Just read editorials, just know the meanings of new words whatever you see in the editorial. That is more than enough to build your vocabulary. So, and thirdly, it will improve your comprehending skills. So these are all the three things. Your English language would have improved way better compared to previous things after a 1 year reading of this editorial. You can see the difference even after 6 months itself. Once you start reading the editorial, after 6 months itself, you will be understanding the change in your attitude, change in your intellectual level. This civil services preparation will raise your intellectual levels to the highest point. That is for sure. Personally, I have experienced that, and many of the civil services aspirants have experienced that. Your maturity level, your attitude, your intelligence will shoot up. That is for sure. Now, again, the next question will come: how to choose editorials? The same thing. Syllabus is the guide, like I already discussed. The next question which you might ask is, how many editorials a day? There are 7 editorials in Hindu itself. And apart from Hindu, there are editorials in Express, there are editorials in Live Mint, there are editorials in Wire. In all the newspapers, there are editorials. How many editorials a person can read a day? Reading 5 editorials of Hindu itself is a very difficult thing. How I can do? So this might be the questions for you. I will suggest you one thing. Choose one newspaper and study the editorials in that newspaper. In Hindu newspaper, there will be 7 editorials. You can pick any. To start with, you can start with 3 editorials a day. In the first few months, you can start with 3 editorials a day. Then you can increase that. After, in the second month, you can increase that to 5 editorials a day, and then you can reach the 7 editorials a day. Like that, you can increase in gradual day. Don't sit and study all the 7 editorials on day one itself. That is going to spoil your newspaper reading skills and newspaper reading experience. Start with 3 editorials a day. Go with 4 editorials a day after a month. Then go to 5 editorials a day after another month. Do this gradual increase. Now you will be worrying. See, I am reading only Hindu editorial. My friends are reading Express and they are reading the different editorial. Should I read this both? So that confusion will come. So to alleviate that confusion, KingMakers is having a unique initiative. We are having an initiative called Editorial Made Simple. So what we do in the editorial and daily answer writing session, we are making KingMakers is doing this two unique initiative. If you could open our KingMakers app, in downloads column, you can see this. Editorial made simple of 20th April. Editorial made simple of 19th April. Model answer for daily answer writing test. So what we are doing in KingMakers IAS Academy is, we are having expert team here. We are asking that expert team to study editorials of all the newspapers. That expert team is reading editorials in Hindu. We are reading editorials of Express. We are reading editorials of Live Mint. We are reading editorials of Down to Earth. All the main editorials we are reading, and what we are doing is, we are choosing the important editorials and we are making a compilation. So we are making a compilation of all those important editorials that came in the previous day. Like for example, there might be hundreds of editorial every day in all the newspapers. So by reading all these important papers, we will be identifying some 5 editorials, 5 important editorials, whichever is needed. That for that 5 important editorials from other newspapers, we will be making a write-up of 300 words, a 300 words write-up of all the articles, whichever coming in Express or Live Mint or any other editorials, and we will be uploading that as editorial made simple. So on a daily basis, you read the newspaper, read the Hindu editorial, and then download this editorial made simple PDF in our app and see the 5 other editorials of other papers. So you no need to worry about reading editorials. That editorial reading part is made simple for you by this initiative. In daily answer writing session, what we are going to do is, we are training you for the mains examination from day one itself. Here, what we do is, from those editorials, we frame a question. We frame a question from those editorials, and with that question, we will be uploading that question, and we will be writing an answer for that question. So on a daily basis, you will be getting 2 practice questions to write and see, to improve your answer writing skills, and we'll also upload the answers for that questions based on that editorials. So these 2 initiatives of KingMakers IAS Academy is going to help you in reading the editorials, and this will make wonders. If you are regularly following on daily basis these two initiatives, I'm sure after 6 months your skills would have developed. Now we are coming to the final part of this webinar. Now this is the final part. In the final part you will be having how to study the news and how to take notes. So this is your final question now. Now I will take one example article and I will show you how to read the news and how to take notes. So this is very important part of this webinar. Now what we are going to do is I am going to select an article from Hindu and I am going to read it for you, and I am going to tell you how to read this article and go to the next step of how to studying this article and going to the third step of how to take notes. This 3 step is very important. So I'm going to take this February paper. I'll show you. I'll just read out only one article for you. With that one article, I can explain. See, this is the front page of the 14th paper, which we already. If you could see there is an article here. Experts meet to discuss on restoration of Sun Temple. So the Sun Temple is a Sun Temple of Konark in Odisha. So this is a temple in Odisha. So people from Archaeological Survey of India, what they are doing is they are restoring the temple. They are, if you could see here in the picture, they are restructuring it and they are protecting it with various support structures. So what they are doing is they are renovating the temple and restoring it. So this is an article regarding that. If you could read this article, see that it is about some architecture of Odisha. And if you could remember in syllabus, we saw that line. You remember, first line of the syllabus itself is what? Art forms, literature, and architecture. So mandatorily you have to study this article because it is part of syllabus under art and culture. So it is part of art and culture, and you have to study this. So now you read this article. Archaeologists and engineers review the safety of 800-year-old structure of Konark. A plan to restore and preserve the nearly 800-year-old Konark Sun Temple in Odisha would be drawn up soon after a 2-day conference of experts to end up at the end of the month. Union Culture Minister Sri Prahalad Singh Patel said, okay, so they are planning to restore it. Here, if you could know, they are telling one fact to you. It is 800-year-old Sun Temple. So as soon as you come here, you have to understand this. What you have to do is, the first thing you have to do now is you have to Google it. Go to Google and do this thing. See, reading article, what they will do, people who are reading article, generally what they will do, they will be reading this full article and they will go to the next article. What you have to do, step 1 is read the full article. From top to here, you read the full article completely. This is the reading part. After reading, now you have to come for the studying part. In studying part, what you have to do? Now first, this is the new term which you are coming across, Konark Sun Temple. So you have to do a background work. Just reading the news and skipping the article is not enough for the civil services preparation. You have to do this background also. This is very important for preparation. So this Konark Sun Temple is a word which you are encountering newly. Now you have to go and Google this Konark Sun Temple. Okay. When you are Googling, there will be a Wikipedia page of Konark Sun Temple. Click that. Open it. Open this Wikipedia page and study the basics of Konark Sun Temple. It is loading, but I will just Konark Sun Temple. So you don't need to study the entire Wikipedia page. Whenever you are studying Wikipedia, study only the introduction part. Don't need to go inside. Study these 3 paragraphs of any Wikipedia page you are reading, because it is impossible to study all. So by studying this, what you will be understanding, who built this Konark Temple. Konark Temple is 13th century temple. So it was built in 13th century. Who built the temple? Which king built? That is Narasimha Deva I of Eastern Ganga dynasty. So these kind of points you will be getting. Narasimha Deva I built Konark Temple. So in preliminary, there might be a question. Which of the following king built the Konark Temple? There might be a question like that. So that is how the questions come from these articles. So whenever you are encountering new things, you have to go to Wikipedia and study about this. Next, if you could see in the second paragraph, the 13th century temple, UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now you have to pause again. What is this UNESCO World Heritage Site? Reading part, you will just read it fully. But in studying part, you have to do this. You have to do this background work. Doing background work is the main part of civil services preparation. Now what you have to do? You have to go to Google and type what is UNESCO World Heritage Site. You have to Google it. What is this UNESCO World Heritage Site? You have to Google it and see. What is UNESCO World Heritage Site? How many sites are there in India? What is the criteria to give the World Heritage Site? This background work you have to study briefly. So likewise, whenever you are encountering a new thing, you just pause there and Google it. So the studying part of the newspaper article will take time. So next, if you could see here, see, UNESCO World Heritage Site has been filled with the sand and sealed by British authorities in 1903 to stabilize the structure. Archaeological Survey of India officials said. So now again another new thing is coming. Archaeological Survey of India. What is this Archaeological Survey of India? Again, go to Google Archaeological Survey of India. Study about this Archaeological Survey of India and basics. So like for each and every article you are studying, you have to do this background work. Again, this is only will consume a lot of time. That's why when you are studying newspaper for first time, it will take almost 4 hours or 5 hours to study. So this is the main problem in newspaper studying. That is why it is taking a lot of time. But only if you do this, your knowledge will increase. Only if you do this, your fundamentals will become strong. Each and every aspirants all over India, whoever is giving the first attempt, whoever is joining the civil services preparation, will do this background work of this newspaper articles for the first 3 to 4 months. Only if you are doing this, see, it will take you. If you are studying about UNESCO World Heritage Site, you will be next. You will be studying list of World Heritage Site in India. Then you will be seeing why each and every World Heritage Site is given the tag. What is the specialty of each World Heritage Site in India? Likewise, it will be branching out. It will be keep on going. So by reading all those things, you will be your knowledge base will be widening, and that will be your foundation for your entire civil services preparation. I know it is very time consuming and very boring task. It is very difficult task and boring task on the day one. It is. I'm openly. I'm telling you, it is a difficult task. But after every difficulty, there is some positivity. If you are overcoming this difficult part, if you are bearing this difficult part and doing it regularly to getting the service, and if you are overcoming this difficult part, the next day after 3 months onwards, it will be very simple for you once you are accustomed with this Hindu. For example, for me now presently, Hindu reading Hindu newspaper is like brushing my teeth. Generally, if you're not brushing your teeth, what will happen? There will be some awkward feeling for you. Likewise, if I miss reading Hindu paper any day, it is an awkward feeling for me. It has become a part of my day-to-day activity. I can't pass any day without reading paper. So that is how it has changed me. So it will impact you like that, and that will going to help you a lot. So so do read the article and do this background work. Okay, so start doing it, because doing background work is going to give you the base. So this is the first thing. Whenever you are reading the article, link with the syllabus, whether it is there in syllabus. The second important thing which I didn't tell, now I am telling, is whenever you read an article, you keep the one thing is this in mind. In college education, in colleges, how we studied was, we studied for knowledge gaining. Whatever we studied, we kept knowledge in mind and not marks in mind. We didn't study for marks, we studied for knowledge. But civil services examination is a pure competitive examination. It is about purely getting marks, more marks than others. It is a competitive examination, means you are competing with others. You have to get more marks than others. So whenever you are why are you reading newspapers now? Why are you reading all these subjects? Because at one fine day they are going to ask some question in preliminary, or some question in mains, or some question in personality test. So that is why you are reading the newspaper, right? At the end of the day, somewhere I'll be facing a question and I'm going to answer that question. That is why we are studying newspaper. But the one thing you have to note here, so your ultimate aim of studying all these things is to write an answer in mains paper and answer a prelim question and answer in personality test. If that is the case, you do that in preparing itself. Whenever you are studying an article, frame a question in mind. If you are framing a question in mind and studying an article in the reading stage itself, that will help you a lot in examination phase. I'll explain to you. Our brain works in the networking style. It always networks. Whenever you are doing a thing, whenever you are typing, or whenever you are reading something, it creates a network in brain neurons. Whenever you are recalling it in future, again, that will try to make that network again to recall it. So when you are in exam hall, when you are thinking for an answer of a question, if you want to get the answer of the question, it should have networked already in your brain. So do that networking when you are studying. When you are studying itself, if you are framing a question based on that article, and if you are knowing making an answer of that, that will make a network in your brain, and that network will help you in answering in examination hall. Understand the functioning of brain and study accordingly. Like for example, see, in this article when we are studying, what I said, you have to frame questions. See, who built the Konark Sun Temple? Narasimha Deva. So like they frame questions. Then okay, next what they can ask, what is this World Heritage Site? Which of the following sites are World Heritage Site in India? Likewise they can ask. Then what is the objective of UNESCO? Likewise you frame questions while studying and find answers for that. So by framing question by during studying will help you in easily recollecting the answer. You don't need to memorize anything, your brain will remember. This will improve your memory. It will improve your capacity to remember things. And of course, the third important point is do background work on keywords. If you do these two things and properly, the studying part of the article is over. And the final part of article is making notes, model notes. You have to make notes. See, whenever you are reading, see, I've taken two articles. Of course, I didn't explain the second article. I'll just explain the first article now. Like, since it is a part of art and culture, now I'll tell you how to make notes here. Okay, I'll tell you how to make notes. Then we'll go to my notes. Okay, I'll tell you how to make notes. You can make notes in two ways, either in digital ways or in paper. We are in a digital era. We have to move digitally also. You can make notes in digital way, or you can make notes in paper also. So it is your own personal wish. You can make notes in any model you want. First, I'll tell you how to make digital notes. Okay. For digital notes, one of the best app for making digital note is Evernote. Just go and Google Evernote, 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 and this Evernote column will open. In Evernote, what you can do, you can create notes. Like you have to segregate. Like how I have made notes. I have segregated as GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4, and have segregated as quotes, miscellaneous. So you have to segregate notes in the topic wise and paper wise. Whenever you are reading some article, you can save that article here. Like for example, here I am. I'm studying an article regarding coronavirus vaccine. I'm studying an article regarding this. So, which we already saw, like which we discussed recently, we studied this editorial, right, regarding the HIV, how this HIV was used in Uganda and Thailand. So that article is this. I've taken that article in Hindu paper, and see what you have to do is you can add this extension. So you can see this. There is an extension in my browser called Evernote. If you go Google it, Evernote extension for Chrome. Go to Google. I hope you are using Chrome browser. First, what thing you have to do is you have to download this Evernote article. Then you have to do is Evernote Web Clipper. Just Google that Evernote extension for Chrome and use Evernote Web Clipper. If you are clicking this and if you are installing this, there will be this icon coming in your browser, this elephant icon. Whenever you are reading article, what you can do is, if you want this article to be stored, you have to click this. Okay, click this elephant here. This Evernote clicker will open. Okay, it is loading now. So it will open. When it is opening, what you can do, you can save this article here. So if you are clicking it and opening it, now it is loading. Let us skip that. There will be an option for saving the article. If you are saving that article, it will be saved here. Like already I have saved this article here. So this is an editorial which came in Hindu. If you are clicking that elephant, it will be saved here like that. It is an editorial which came yesterday regarding the Chinese investments in India. It will be saved here under GS3. See, I have saved this in GS3. So you can, like this, you can segregate the Evernote into syllabus wise and you can save it. This is the way to take digital notes. This is going to help you. Another way to take notes is to take on paper. Generally, you can start with taking paper notes. Generally, you have to do both. What I'm telling is don't stick to only one. I'll tell you how to do both. For paper, for digital notes, save important article. You will be reading, sometimes you will be reading best article, like the one written by Dr. Kalam regarding neutrino is one of the best articles. I studied that in 2015. I'm having that article till today, 5 years ago. I studied that 5 years ago until today I'm having. That is a best article. So likewise, if you are coming across some best article, you can save that in Evernote, and you should also make the notes on the paper too. Okay. So on paper, how you can make is, for that only I'm having a model for you guys here. So take an A4 sheet and segregate the, it's better to take notes in A4 sheet, because if you're taking notes in A4 sheet, you can clip it any time you want. Take notes in A4 sheet. You segregate the notes into topics like polity, history, economy, environment, or you can segregate as paper wise also, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. Here I've segregated a topic wise. I've segregated here as polity and art and culture topic wise. I've written that archaeologists review the safety of Konark Sun Temple. It is a 13th century temple. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. ESA is reviewing the stability. So next, what you have to do, you have to do the background work. You have to study about the Sun Temple in Wikipedia. You have to study what UNESCO World Heritage Site means, and you have to study what Archaeological Survey of India means, and take notes. If you are taking notes like this, after 3 months, you will be having a dictionary of notes of your own. You will be having a bundle of notes. You will be having a bundle of knowledge, and that will give you a lot of satisfaction. And if you are able to revise the notes regularly, your current affairs will be very strong. So studying newspaper is one of the first steps to study the current affairs. So make notes like this. Create topic wise, write important facts like that, and do this branching work also. See, till here the article is over, and these three things are my background work. This background work is very important, guys, to study. And on that same 14th newspaper, there is another article regarding criminal cases. I have made a note of that article here. Okay. So since paucity of time, I'm explaining only one note here. Okay. So you can take screenshots also. If you are going across some important web page, and if you are coming across some important diagrams, you can take the screenshots and save in Evernote also. Evernote is also having an option to save the screenshot. If you click that elephant icon, there will be option save as article or take screenshot. You try this at home, you will be knowing. Explore the Evernote. Next, note making. See, one objective of note making is it should be precise and it should be clear. Like for example, note making is not writing in short term, like shorthand or writing in short words or like that. Note the basic philosophy behind note making is if you take the notes after 3 months and study, you have to understand. So that is going to be your agenda. Whenever you are taking notes, keep this in mind. If I am opening this notes after 3 months and if I am studying it, I should be able to understand it. Whenever you are making notes, you will be understanding it. But if you are taking it after 3 months, most of the times the quality of notes which we take is very bad because we are not trained for notes making in our schools or colleges. We used to know that how badly we used to take notes in our schools and colleges. I think so many of you can relate with this. No one, you just scribble in your paper. So that is not going to work here. You have to take notes in such a way that even after 3 months, if you are taking, it should be, and you should understand it. I'll explain why this is very important now. See, before in schools and colleges, we were preparing a day before the examination. If tomorrow is a semester exam, the day before the exam, the day before the exam night, we used to study all the 5 units. We used to ask our friends, we used to study the day before, and we are the next day we go and write the examination, and we forgot everything. Our brain is tuned for 1 day memory. All the examination which we faced in our life previously is tuned for 1 day memory, where we just study for only 1 day. Before the exam we study, and next day exam we go and vomit and we write the answer and we forget it. But this civil services exam is a different one. We are going to study this for an year. You will be studying an article in October, but the preliminary will be in next year May. So you should remember everything. So note making and taking precise note is very important here. Okay, because you have to expand your memory from 1 day memory to 1 year memory or 2 year memory. So that will happen only if you understand and study, only if you do this background work and study, and that will happen only if you take proper notes and revise it. So take precise notes. Subject wise segregation is important, and monthly revision is also very important. Every month, at the end of the month or at the end of the week, revise whatever notes you have taken. Don't keep piling up the notes for the till the end of the year to study. Whenever you are making notes, revise that on monthly basis. Okay. And finally, the final part of the newspaper reading is to test yourself. You would have studied the newspaper, but still in the initial 3 months you will be confused what I have to do, how I'm going to remember. Whether you will be having the self doubt, whether the notes I'm taking is good, whether the article I'm reading is correct, whether the way I'm taking notes is correct, whether I am choosing right articles. These kind of doubts you will be having in the initial days of newspaper reading. So that thing is going to be addressed by KingMakers IAS Academy. In our KingMakers IAS Academy, in our app, we are having this daily current affairs column. If you could open our app, we'll be updating daily current affairs. In this daily current affairs, what we are doing is we are identifying important news of the previous day, and we are writing important brief articles about that. If you could click this daily current affairs column, you will be seeing all the news and basic information regarding the notes. We are making some kind of a digital notes for you. This doesn't mean that you should not make. What you have to do is you use this as a support system. Whenever you finish the newspaper of the day, come open our app, study the daily current affairs, and verify whether whatever notes you have taken and whatever notes we have taken is matching or not. So it is going to help you in this reverse studies. And we are also posting daily 10 questions from based on the previous day's current affairs. Whatever you are studying current affairs in today's newspaper, not only restricted to Hindu, we will be taking questions from all the newspapers. From Express also will be taking questions. But what our ultimate objective is to daily give you 10 questions from previous day. So what we are doing is, on a daily basis, we are giving you 10 questions for preliminary. We are giving 2 questions for mains, like we already discussed about the daily answer writing session during editorials. So on a daily basis, you are facing this 10 preliminary question. At the end of the month, you would have studied how many questions? 300 questions. At the end of the year, how many questions? You would have studied 3,600 questions. So 3,600 prelim question regarding current affairs, you will be solving at the end of the year by following this app. Again, on a daily basis, you will be solving 2 mains question. Imagine what will happen at the end of the 365 days. At the end of the 365 days, you would have written answers for 600 questions. That 600 to 650 questions is that answers is more than enough to improve your answer writing skills. So this practice of doing this daily by using KingMakers app and is going to help you. And we are also planning to update the daily current affairs. The 10 questions we will be posting in app, and the 10 questions you will be given explanation in app itself. But we are going an additional step. We have decided to give an explanation discussion session. We are planning to upload videos on explaining those 10 questions on a daily basis and explaining those 2 mains question on daily basis. So on a daily basis in our YouTube channel, we are going to upload this 10 question videos. So after studying your newspaper, when you are doing all these things, you can test yourself and you can check whether you are going in the right direction. So it is going to help you on daily basis like that. Following this is more than enough to finish the current affairs. At the end of the month, we'll be posting a monthly current affairs compilation that will be helpful for you to revision also. So you can take test on a daily basis. See, we are uploading tests on a daily basis in our app. On a daily basis, you can attend a test of 10 questions and you can equip your current affairs skills, and the discussion video is also uploaded on daily basis. You can do this. Okay. So finally, we have come to the end of the session now. We have discussed the importance of the newspapers. We have discussed the why to read newspaper, what is the importance of reading the articles, and all those things. Now we are opening up for the question answer session for those who are attending the class even after 1.5 hours. So you can post any questions to me if you have any doubts. If you have, I'm ready to answer now. Go ahead. Uniqueness to your answer. How come it is possible when all the aspirants are preparing with the same Hindu? This is a very good question. When all the aspirants are preparing the same Hindu, how will be my answer will be unique? That is a very true question. This question is asked by Hemavati. Hemavati, you have to understand one thing. Every aspirant is studying Hindu paper. That is true, but not every aspirant is regular enough, consistent enough to make notes. We see everyone are studying newspaper, but not everyone is taking regular notes. Not everyone is taking the notes of editorials. Not everyone is revising it on a monthly basis. Not everyone is studying that before examination. So you can study the editorial, but if you are not taking notes and if you are not revising it at the end of the day, surely you will not be reading the newspaper will be of no use. So when 4 lakh aspirants are doing this, only a few aspirants are regularly taking notes and regularly they are revising it properly. So that is very small number, and that small number will surely have the unique answer. So that is the logic here. It is important to make notes from first day of preparation. Yes, it is important. Dhirendra is asking. Yes, it is important to make notes from first day of preparation. I know it is impossible to take notes on all 365 days. You will be having some cheat days. You will be missing certain days. But what I'm telling is be regular in that. Do at least 5 days a week. 5 days a week at least you take notes. Okay. Initially on day one, in the initial first few months, it will be very difficult for you to keep up with everything because it will take 4 hours to 5 hours to do everything, and taking notes and revising that will be a very humongous task because I asked you to do the background work, right? When you're doing this background work, you will be confused, you will be lost. So you'll be finding it difficult. But if you are doing it regularly, at least for 5 days a week, you will be surely after 3 to 6 months, you will be accustomed to that. How we will know that opinions of experts are not biased? Nishi Priya has asked an excellent question. Thank you, Nishi Priya, for asking that. I wanted to talk about that, and you have reminded me that. See, Hindu is generally Hindu is a bit left leaning. Okay, Express the Express paper is right leaning. So when you're reading Hindu, generally most of the articles are left leaning. When you're reading express, most of the articles are right leaning. If you are reading both, you will be getting the balanced stand, but you cannot read both. That is the situation here. So what you can do is, when you are reading Hindu, you will be getting one opinion from Hindu. When you are reading our newspaper made simple, editorial made simple initiative on your app, you will be exposed to other opinions of other writers in express also. So it is very important to have a balanced stand in civil services examination. You cannot be partisan. I will tell you all one, guys, you are going to start your preparation. Almost 150 people are attending now. All 150 people, you keep this in mind, you can never be partisan. You cannot be supporting to only one party, particular party, and you should not be partisan. Because when you join service, you are going to be very neutral and you have to function for citizens. So you cannot be partisan here. So being neutral and having a balanced opinion on all the issues is very important. You have to be pro government, that is true. At the same time, you should also have some constructive criticism against government also. So for that, you need balanced opinion. Study opinions whatever given in the hint. For if you are facing any issue, like if there is a CAA, how you have to study CAA means, you study the points which are supporting CAA. At the same time, you study the points which are opposing CAA. Know all those 10 points. 5 points supporting CAA and 5 points opposing CAA. Know these 10 points. With this 10 points, you can answer any question they are going to ask in main examination or a personality test. So always have a balanced opinion. Read both the sides, understand both the sides of the coin, and get the balanced opinion. For that balanced opinion, you can follow the daily editorial made simple session of KingMakers IAS Academy app. So next, Gokul Nath is asking, the possibility of cracking the exam is 0.1%. How we can crack among 1,000 people? Exactly, Gokul Nath, your question is right. It is very difficult when you see the statistics of past percentage. See, UPSC, like everyone, there are more than 4 lakh people who are appearing for the examination, but only 800 to 1,000 odd people are getting services, and 200 odd people are becoming IAS every year. So among all these things, how I'm going to clear? Means, see, those 1,000 people who are clearing exams are those who are having right attitude. So more than knowledge, having right attitude is very important. You should have right attitude, balanced opinion. You should always be positive, and you should always be motivated to study for this examination. You should be sincere to this preparation. Whatever I'm telling you now, like reading the paper, taking notes, and doing the background work, if you are doing all these things and if you are studying all these subjects consistently, the consistency is very important. It's not like in first 3 days I'll study well, next 2 days I'll take rest, next 2 days I'll study, next 2 days I'll take rest. That is not going to help you. If you are consistent, if you are having right attitude, if you are doing everything with hard work and smart work religiously, sure, you can easily clear in first attempt. And for that only, when we are having another webinar on 30th April on how to clear in first attempt, I think. So you just see that webinar and you will be having good idea. If I'm going to attend the exam in 2022, I have to read this year itself. See, this is a very good question by Jayashree Alagar Sami. Jayashree, have this in mind. You are going to give your attempt in 2022. UPSC will not restrict only to the current affairs of 1 year. They might ask questions of previous current year affairs also. But it is very difficult for us to study all the previous year's current affairs, and we will be restricted to study only 1 year. But if you are having this option of giving in 2022, you are that is a very good positive opportunity for you. People like who are studying this for 2 years are having high chances to clear in first attempt. So what you can do is study newspaper from today itself. If you are studying today for a newspaper study, if you are studying newspaper from today, for the first year, you would have crossed all the barriers, all the difficulties. At the end of the 2021, you would have been an expert in Hindu reading. When you are preparing for your own attempt, this newspaper will not be a matter for you at all. You would have already become an expert in newspaper reading. Like it would have been already a part of your day-to-day activity. So Jayashree, keep this in mind. Study newspaper from today itself. It will at the one side it is going to give you current affairs for an additional year, which will help you in preparation, no doubt. In another side, it is also going to make you newspaper very easy. So that is one thing. Best time to read newspaper. Silambarasan, this best time to read newspaper varies from people to people. See, a few people will wake up at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock and study. A few people will be very efficient for the night studies. It depends on the individual. How you are trained for this past 15 years of your studies. How are you studying in college? How are you studying when you're in 11th and 12th? How you are when you are you having your productive time, you should identify the productive time where you are studying well. That self analysis you have to do. For a few of them, it will be the best productive time will be after they wake up. So generally, for the majority of the people, when you wake up in the morning and get refreshed, you will be fresh. So that will be the best time to study newspaper, because in that time your mind will be fresh and you can grasp all the concepts. But for some time, what they will do, if you are starting the day with the newspaper, that entire day will be taken away for the newspaper itself, and you don't have done anything else. So it's up to you. It can be early morning, or it can be before the bed. It's your own personal choice. Okay, find your best time by your own. Sir, have you attempted civil services examination? Okay, I didn't give an introduction about me in the beginning, so you'll be having. I am Adil Baig. I think so you would have seen in the first slide. I'm Adil Baig. I'm faculty in KingMakers IAS Academy, teaching economy, current affairs, and international relations. I have given 5 attempts. I have given 3 mains. So, so I'm having a lot of experience here. So this is my background. I teach economy, current affairs, and international relations in KingMakers IAS Academy. How to download e-paper? That is a very good question. Vijay is asking. Vijay, there are many websites in internet, or many Telegram channels where they are posting the e-paper. You can do 2 things. Go to Google and type Hindu e-paper, Hindu PDF download. The Hindu PDF download, and many websites will open. Or you can go to Telegram channel. Telegram channel, go and search the Hindu PDF download. If you are searching that, there is a channel called the Hindu PDF. There is a separate channel. In that channel, they are posting the daily PDF of Hindus on a regular basis. You can get that. The third way is to subscribe it by going it in a legal way. You can go and subscribe in the Hindu website by paying the money. I think so. It is 700 rupees now for annum, like online subscription. How many months one should go through the basics? By Gokulnath. See, how many months one should go through the basics NCRTs means it depends on you, how well reader you are, and how much time you are consuming. It depends on purely you, Gokul. So it differs from people to people. But it is very important to finish the NCRTs and foundation. That is very important. On an average, within 3 to 4 months, we can complete that basics. What is the time limit to study newspaper? Vijay, again, there is no time limit to study newspaper. It depends on people to people. Initial days, surely it is going to be 4 hours for you. But after 4 to 5 months of regular reading and regular reading practice, and after 4 to 5 months of attending the classes and knowing all the subjects, I'm sure after 4 to 5 months, your time will reduce. For me, currently, it is taking roughly 45 minutes now. 45 minutes to 1 hour is what the time I consume now presently. So when I started, I used to consume 5 hours a day. So it will reduce from 5 hours to 45 minutes to 1 hour. So it will come with the experience. So don't get demotivated when you are consuming 5 hours a day in the initial part of your preparation. How to make mains question with an article I studied. Jagapriya, that is why we are having an initiative called daily answer writing session in our app. If you download the daily answer essay, right, if you go to download section in our app, you take our KingMakers app now, install it and register in that. Go to download section and download the daily answer writing session. You will see what we are doing is we are framing questions from the editorials. We are itself framing that question framings, and we are giving answers also in ready-made. So that will help you in the initial days. And once you are into the preparation and you are getting accustomed to that, you can do that. In Hindu newspaper, both Tamil and English have same editorial or different. Dinesh, there will be different editorial. There won't be same editorial. There will be different editorial only. So since you are writing in Tamil, it's better to read in Tamil editorial. But what I'll suggest is, it is always better to read in English, because your comprehension part or in your preliminary CSAT is going to be in English. So it is always better to improve your English skills also. You can't be relying only on Tamil because you are writing in Tamil. So it is good to you study the full newspaper in Tamil. At least study one editorial in English every day. You have to study at least one editorial in English every day. So keep this as for those who are taking exam in regional languages. Have this in mind. Read at least 1 or 2 editorials in English every day. So that is going to improve your English knowledge and other things. Should I study economics before studying business column? Yes. Only if you are only if you are having good fundamentals in economy, you will be understanding that business column. So You attend the economics classes, you understand economics, and then start reading. Then in the classes, I will be guiding, because I'm going to handle economy. I will be guiding what to study and how to study. So Vignesh is thanking KingMakers IAS Academy for this kind of initiative. Thank you, Vignesh. We are planning to do more. Thank you for your good words. Aruchudar Muthuvelan is asking a very good question. Aruchudar, we are getting news articles every day. How to remember all these things? Like, you will be studying a lot of things on a daily basis. Like I have talked about the memory, right? It is very difficult to remember all, I know. But what the thing is, there are two techniques. Whenever you are studying anything about any issue, frame questions in mind and study. If you are thinking that article or that particular concept as a question and studying, it applies to subjects also, not only to newspaper. If you are preparing any subjects also, if you are keeping this in mind and questions in mind and preparing, that will help you for sure, because our brain works in the networking way, which I already explained. So that is one thing. On another side, what you can do is regular revision. By taking notes, you have to do a revision on weekly basis. At the end of the week, you have to do one revision of all those things you read in that week. At the end of the month, you have to do the revision for all those things you read in the entire month. If you are doing this regular revision, you can remember. See, Raghav, writing, you are asking a doubt regarding writing only headlines. Writing only headlines is not going to help you. You have to make some good notes. So making notes, you will be, once we start the classes, we will be discussing in detail about making notes and other things. You can attend the classes and you can get to know. In the offline classes, we'll be doing that. So you will be understanding that how to take notes in detail there. It's always better to take editorial notes, because you will be studying some peculiar points in an editorial. That point will be helping you in mains answer writing. You take notes in either digital way or offline on paper.